Dear students, today's class we'll see part 3 of the second chapter. See, last class we have seen about simple displacement and that is synthesis reaction. The other name for synthesis reaction, direct combination reaction we have seen. Now today's class we'll see decomposition reaction. See, decomposition reaction means you will have one reactant and you will be getting 2 or 3 products. That means you are going to take a compound and you are going to split it into a compound or an element. So that is decomposition reaction. That means you have to apply heat. This is irreversible reaction. So we have 3 types of reaction there. That is we can see like electrolytic, photochemical. You can include even thermal dissociation also. See, decomposition, otherwise we can call it as thermal decomposition. Dissociation is also there, that also we will see as part of this decomposition. So all these are examples of decomposition reaction. Now let us see an examples of that is decomposition reaction. See, this is mercury oxide. So this reaction you have learned earlier that mercury oxide color is red color there, that changes to silvery color. Silvery color is due to, it's not silver. You don't mistake that. It is not a silver metal, it's silvery color of mercury. Or sometimes when you do practically, you will be getting a black color powder. Plus oxygen gas is liberated. And you all know how to test an oxygen gas. Bring a burning splinter and it rekindles. That is a test for oxygen. So you can see the change in color there from red to silvery metal of mercury. Now let's see the other examples you know the activity series of metals, that is potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, aluminium, zinc, iron, lead, copper, then mercury, silver, platinum, gold. So in between copper and lead you will have hydrogen and non-metal there. So in that series, how the decomposition reaction takes place in various things like compounds like nitrates, carbonates, hydroxides, even oxides. So let us see how nitrate salts will give the product we'll see. See, for potassium and sodium, mainly for the first 2 metal in the activity series will be getting nitrite plus oxygen. So no NO2 gas is liberated. Say for example, when you take potassium nitrate, you are getting potassium nitrite. Nitrate valency is -1. Potassium valency is +1. So here also nitrite valency is -1. Potassium is +1. Plus oxygen gas. So you are doing the heating, you are getting nitrite plus oxygen. So right from calcium to copper, what happens? You will be getting metallic oxide plus nitrogen dioxide plus oxygen. See, in the main product, we don't have nitrate. So instead of that, it is giving a nitrogen dioxide gas plus oxygen. So when you take calcium nitrate salt, when you do the heating, you will be getting calcium oxide plus nitrogen dioxide plus oxygen gas. So the next one, when you see, in the case of when you move down the series till copper, the reaction undergoes like this. When you take copper nitrate, it is going to be copper oxide plus nitrogen dioxide plus oxygen. Now mercury and silver, you will be getting metal plus nitrogen dioxide plus oxygen. So when you take a metal like silver nitrate, here the valency of silver is +1 and nitrate valency is -1. So 2 Ag. Then nitrogen dioxide gas plus oxygen gas. So ultimately in this nitrate compounds, what we are seeing here is actually for potassium and sodium, we don't get nitrogen dioxide gas. Right from calcium till silver, you will be getting nitrogen dioxide along with oxygen. But what is missing here is actually this metallic oxide will be converted here. When you move down the series, only metal you will get. See, first case no NO2. So but the second case metallic oxide, nitrogen dioxide. But when you move down, the metallic oxide slowly it is reduced to metal and NO2 plus oxygen. Purely metal you are getting. So this is how the reaction undergoes in other carbonates, hydroxides and oxides also. Let's see for carbonates. When you take carbonate, potassium and sodium, they are stable to heat. Right from calcium to copper, what happens? You will get metallic oxide plus carbon dioxide. Say for example, copper carbonate. You know the color of copper carbonate is green color there. It will be changed into, or it changes to copper oxide black residue plus carbon dioxide gas is liberated. So when you want to test for a carbon dioxide, the carbon dioxide gas turns lime water milky. That is how we test. So we can see observation, when if you want to see the observation there, black color residues form and carbon dioxide gas is liberated, which turns lime water milky. The second thing is, see here, from mercury and silver, what happens? See, mercury and silver case, metal plus carbon dioxide plus oxygen, like what we have seen in nitrogen dioxide, that is nitrate salts. There we are getting NO2. Since it is nitrate, NO2. If it is carbonate, you are going to get carbon dioxide gas. So when you move down the series, normally for all this, you will be getting only metal, the corresponding gases, and oxygen you will be getting. So when you take mercury carbonate, see, mercury valency here is +2 and carbonate is -2. Both will get cancelled. You get mercury plus carbon dioxide plus oxygen you are getting. Then let's see for hydroxide what happens. See, hydroxide case, potassium, sodium, both are stable to heat like carbonate. From calcium to copper, you will get metallic oxide like previous case. And instead of carbon dioxide, I am going, because we have hydroxide radical here. So you will be getting the other product as water there. Now let's see an example of under this hydroxide, iron 3 hydroxide, that is ferric hydroxide. On heating, you are going to get iron 3 oxide, that is ferric oxide plus water. This is how the reaction undergoes there. We will see for mercury and silver also. This mercury to silver, what happens? It rarely forms hydroxides. So it rarely forms hydroxide. Now we will see for oxides. See, potassium till copper. See, for other hydroxide, carbonate and nitrates, we have seen up to what is the potassium, sodium separately, we have segregated like that, calcium to copper. But right from potassium to copper, it is stable to heat. Now let's see what happens for mercury and silver. Mercury and silver, you will be getting that metal plus oxygen. See, when you take a metallic oxide, this example we have seen earlier, the same reaction undergoes. So this is what we are seeing in the activity series of metals, what we have seen. That is for nitrates, you are getting nitrogen dioxide gas. When you move down the series, it converts to metal. For carbonates, carbon dioxide gas, hydroxide, water and oxides, you will be getting only metal. That is what the reaction says in the activity series of metal. Let's see how to balance all these equations. See this equation, mercury, see this is the odd number of oxygen, you can write it of 2 here. So mercury also you should write it as 2. Now here, this is odd number of oxygen here, potassium nitrate there. So write it of 2. Now it changes to, that is 2 there, 2 potassium, 2 nitrogen. And oxygen becomes 6, here it is 4 plus 2, 6. So the next equation when you come here, this oxygen, calcium oxide, see the other place is oxygen and all 2. So here you need to change it. So write it of 2 here. For calcium on the left hand side write 2. So now nitrogen becomes here one more 2 and this 2. 2 into 2, 4. So 4 nitrogen. So write it of 4 here. So now when you come for oxygen, 4 into 2, 8. Then 8 plus 2, 10. 10 plus 2 is 12. So this is how the balancing goes here. Now we will see for silver nitrate. Silver nitrate salts, this is odd number of oxygen. So write it of 2 here, 2 silver. Nitrogen becomes 2, write it of 2. Now 6 oxygen, here 4 plus 2, 6. Now coming to carbonate. So when you come to carbonate salts here, this is a self-balanced equation. The second one, when you move here, like silver nitrate, this is also odd number, write it of 2, 2 mercury. Since it is 2 carbon, write it of 2 here, it's balanced. Now the last equation in the hydroxide we'll see. That is here 2 iron you have. So write it of 2 here, 2 iron. So when I write 2 here, this 2 belongs for iron, oxygen as well as hydrogen. So 2 into 3 here for oxygen. So 6. So 6 oxygen means here you have 3. One more 3 if you want to need, you will have to write it of 3 here. Now hydrogen becomes 6 here. Here also 3 into 2, 6. It's balanced. Now for oxide we'll see. We have seen earlier. Now we'll see a different salts in practical chemistry. That is, say 2 different salts which you are going to learn newly now. That is ammonium dichromate. When you take ammonium dichromate, formula is NH4 twice Cr2O7. See, the dichromate valency is 2 and ammonium valency is 1. You take this salt in a dry test tube, because the same thing which we are going to learn in practical chemistry. So simultaneously we will be taking practical chemistry along with this chemical reactions. Most of the reactions cover from the practical chemistry. So that's why we are comparing and reading here. Ammonium dichromate, take in a dry test tube, that is orange color salt. It's like a Fanta color, you can say that. Now when you heat, the moment when you heat, you can see violent flashes of light, like crackers, you can see the thing, flashes of light. then immediately you can see the green color residue. All the crystalline nature of ammonium dichromates disappear and you'll be getting it as green residue. The green residue is due to the formation of chromic oxide or chromium oxide also we can say. Cr2O3. That green color, why it has changed? Because it has formed the product Cr2O3 plus water plus nitrogen gases liberated. So what do you observe? Sometimes they may ask you, what do you observe when you take ammonium dichromate salt and heat it? What is the color change there? So the question will be like this. So you can answer, it changes from orange to green color. Why that green color residue is formed? It is due to the formation of chromic oxide. So this is how you have to answer in exam. Now let's see the second example of copper sulfate, that is hydrated copper sulfate. When you say copper sulfate, normally we think that its formula is CuSO4, but the color is due to the presence of 5 molecules of water. So what we are going to do here is take the salt in a dry test tube, that blue color salt, that is which contains the 5 molecules of water, color salt. You do the heating. Initially you will be heating, light heat you will be slightly you will be heating there. Then what happens, the color changes from blue to white because the crystalline nature will go, all the water molecules will disappear and you will be getting a powder like thing, that is copper sulfate. This copper sulfate, further what we have to do is, you have to do heating strongly there. When you do strong heating, so all the copper sulfate will be converted to copper oxide. I will be getting a black residue as we have got in copper carbonate salt. The same way here also I am going to get copper oxide plus sulfur, because since I have sulfate radical, sulfur dioxide gas is going to liberate along with oxygen. So you all know the test for sulfur dioxide, like carbon dioxide, is going to turn lime bottom milky. But we have one more test there. You can take potassium dichromate salt. That what we have to do is solution it is not available. That is actually instant paper is not available. You have to make potassium dichromate chemical. You mix it with the distilled water. You take a filter paper, dip in that. The orange color will get into that filter paper. Now you bring that filter paper nearer to SO2 gas. It changes from orange to green. So that shows that sulfur dioxide gas is liberated. So this is how we can confirm, that is, it is not carbon dioxide gas, it is sulfur dioxide, because sulfur dioxide and carbon dioxide will answer for lime water test. So how to test this one? Using potassium dichromate paper, which will turn from orange to green. So this is how we test sulfur dioxide. So for initially what they say, so you have to listen to the question there, read the question carefully and answer. If it is just heating, means you can say the color changes from blue to white. If the question is given a strong heating, means then you have to write color changes from white to black. So be careful in answering this question, copper sulfate especially. So two color salts we have seen. One is from orange to green residue, that is ammonium dichromate to chromium oxide. The other one is blue to white, first step. The second step, strong heating, white to black color residue. So this two reaction we have seen from practical chemistry part. So when you take this salt, see here ammonium dichromate and this one, we have only one reactant. That is also an example of decomposition reaction. Let's see about thermal dissociation. As I mentioned earlier, that is thermal decomposition dissociation differences, that is irreversible. But this one is reversible reaction. So the best example which you are familiar with, this one is sublimation salt, that is ammonium chloride. There are so many examples like camphor, naphthalene, iodine, dry ice, everything you can say. But here we are taking an example of ammonium chloride. When you take this salt, when you do the heating, what happens? It will be converted into gaseous state. Near the mouth of the test tube, when you observe, simultaneously the cooling process also will take place near the mouth of the test tube. So what happens automatically? You can see the ammonium chloride salt sublimes. We call the term as sublimes. You can see the white color salt deposited on the mouth of the test tube, upper part of the test tube. That means it shows that ammonium chloride is formed in solid condition. So this is what that reaction says. One more example which we can see here is nitrogen dinitrogen tetroxide, N2O4, dinitrogen tetroxide. So when you heat it for 140 degrees Celsius, I will be getting nitrogen dioxide gas. On cooling to 20 degrees Celsius, you will get back the dinitrogen tetroxide. Now let's see the electrolytic decomposition also. This example is very familiar for you, which you have learned, acidified water. This we have learned in Hofmann's voltammeter last year. That is, see, water, when you take distilled water, it won't contain ions there. So what we are going to, if you want to contain ions, you're going to add acids, a few drops of diluted acids. So diluted acid, when you add to this water, distilled water, it becomes split it into, it is easy when you pass current, it will split it easily into ions there. So this hydrogen and oxygen gas has been liberated when you pass current. So this is also electrolytic decomposition. This is also an example of decomposition reaction. We'll see one more example of electrolytic decomposition reaction with like a sodium chloride salt. So before that, we'll see how to balance all these equations. See here, ammonium dichromate, we have 2 nitrogen. Here it is 2. But when you look at oxygen, here it's 7. This place we have 3. So we'll write it off here as 4, so that it becomes 7. And hydrogen becomes 8 there. So here also it's 8. Chromium 2, chromium 2. I think you have understood this balancing equation. The next equation is self-balance. The next one, so you have odd number of oxygen here, write it of 2. So 2 copper. If you write 2 here, sulfur becomes 2. So this place also we have to write it as 2 there. This is self-balanced equation, and this equation, you know that if you write it 2 here, 2 nitrogen, write it 2. It will be balanced. The next one, electrolytic decomposition reaction. Here, this is oxygen is 2, write of 2 here. 2 into 2, 4 hydrogen, so write it 2 here. So we'll see some more examples of electrolytic decomposition reaction. Let's see this example, electrochemical reaction. So you have learned what is electrolysis and what is electrolyte, what is electrode. Electrolyte means the substance which we are going to take it for electrolysis process, chemical substance. So always the substance which you are taking, it should be in the liquid state. Say when you take a water, it's in liquid state, it's okay. We will conduct electricity. And more than that, we are adding a acid to that one. So it will conduct electricity and it will easily split it into ions there. But in this case, sodium chloride is a solid substance. So what I should do here is, this is going to act as an electrolyte for me. So fused state, what's the meaning of fused or molten state, or which is aqueous solution state, means actually you are going to make this solid as a liquid form there by adding distilled water. Now it becomes a salt solution. To this salt solution, I am going to pass current through the electrodes. So we are going to use for different electrodes for different electrolysis process. So when you pass current through the electrodes, electrode means, you know, it is like a rod like thing or a plate like thing which is used to conduct electricity from the battery to the solution, that is electrolyte which you have taken. So it's like a mediator here for you. So electrolysis process means when you pass current, the chemical substance will split it into ions. So that is what is happening here, and each ion will go and deposit in different electrodes, and what the reaction undergoes there, that is ionic equations, we are representing all this. So let's see here just a few simple example of sodium chloride, NaCl, it's split it into Na1 plus and Cl1 minus. Now at cathode side what happens? See, this always cation moves towards the cathode side. That you should have it in mind. And anion always moves towards the anode side. That is, anion means negatively charged one to the positive side, positively charged one to the negative side. I think you understood. Cation to cathode, anion to anode. Negatively charged ion to positive, positively charged ion to the negative side. So now this Na plus alone you take it. What happens? You should make a note that always at cathode, reduction reaction takes place. Please make a note, reduction reaction takes place. Reduction means gain of electrons. I think you have learned that definition. Gain of electrons. So gain means I have to put a plus sign here, and the symbol of the electron is E, and the charge of the electron is negatively charged one. So we have represented, if you want to write 1, it's okay, otherwise you can leave it out. E minus plus E minus. So Ne1 plus, why you got this one means this ions will go and deposit to the cathode side. The cathode side, what kind of reaction is undergoing? We are seeing that is reduction, gain of electron, 1 electron minus. Now you are getting Na plus. That is in terms of atoms I am getting. Now we'll see examples of, that is Cl minus ion. That is what has happened in the anode side. Anode means oxidation. Obviously if it is reduction, this is going to be oxidation. Oxidation means loss of electrons. Oxidation means loss of electrons. So you are writing minus sign, electron, negative. The charge of the electron doesn't change in none of the equation. It remains E minus only. But this plus and minus only we have to consider. Gain means plus, loss means minus. Now it becomes an atom. So what does this say? The ions, see, the compound is splitted into ions. Again the ions will be converted into atom. That atom will combine to form a compound. The process will be a continuous process here. So this Cl again it combines with Cl, it is Cl2. See, this is ionic equation which we have seen. I know, I think you know how to balance this ionic equation. That is sodium 1 atom, chlorine 1 atom, here 1, 1, 2, right. Now, you have to look at the charge also whether it is bad. Here it is charge is 0. No number means it's understood 0 charge here. Here 1 plus, here 1 minus. You have to multiply this. Plus into minus, minus. 1 plus 1 minus 0 charge. Here 1 minus, this minus into minus, plus. So 1 plus 1 minus 0, here also 0. This is how we have to check it. So this is also one kind of decomposition reaction. When we pass current, how the reaction undergoes. Let's see a photochemical reaction also. Reactions, that is, photochemical reaction means you know that we are going to, that is in presence of sunlight, we are going to conduct the reaction. So when you take, say for example, hydrogen peroxide, you know hydrogen peroxide formula is H2O2. In presence of sunlight, that is light presence, chemical reaction undergoes water plus oxygen. See, water when you take hydrogen plus oxygen, but hydrogen peroxide means water plus oxygen. So this is how the decomposition. This is also one kind of decomposition, that reaction which is undergoing in presence of sunlight. Sunlight means we used to put a symbol like this, like asterisk sign. Now when you take, normally silver salts when you see in the lab, it will be kept in brown color bottles, brown colored bottles. Why means normally if the silver salt is stored in a white bottles, it will undergo decomposition, photochemical decomposition. So to avoid that one, we are storing the silver salts in brown color bottle. Say for example, when you take silver chloride salt, see in presence of sunlight what will happen? You will get silver plus chlorine. It is undergoing decomposition. So the same way silver bromide salt when you take, in presence of sunlight, you are getting silver subbromide, which is a new substance for you, which you are hearing the first new thing there. The sub new name. So why that sub means? Because normally silver is 1, bromide is 1, but here by writing the valency as 2 here, that means it is silver subbromide is a product which is formed here. The sub represents here 2. So Ag2Br plus bromine. Br2 we are getting. So same way like chlorine, here bromine you are getting, bromide gas, that is here this is chlorine gas, and bromine you know that it's a liquid, not gas. So this is how the photochemical reaction undergoes. So if you want to balance it, see here this is the odd number of oxygen. See, we have 2 silver here, so here 2 bromine 3. So this make it as a even number, writing it as 2. So 2 plus 2 4. So you are writing 4. And everything is going to be balanced. So silver you have to write it as 2 here, and same way here it's 1 chlorine, write it 2, and silver becomes 2. This is also odd number of oxygen, write it 2 here, 2 plus 2 4, here also 4. Now metallurgy also we have one more decomposition reaction. See, metallurgy means normally we are extracting metal from the ore. So in one of the process we call this as, so many processes are there. This is one process name called calcination. So the calcination process means limited supply of air. You are going to apply limited supply there. That is, I am going to convert zinc carbonate when you, so all you have seen in the activity series of the carbonate will be converted to metallic oxide, carbon dioxide. Same thing happens here. Further, this zinc oxide I should want to reduce to metal means I have to use a reducing agent. Ra means reducing agent. It is carbon and carbon monoxide. Any one of this, not both. Zinc oxide with carbon, you will get zinc plus carbon monoxide. I think last year you have learned in carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, reducing agents. Same thing we are seeing here, carbon and carbon monoxide. Here iron oxide, if you want to reduce to iron, you are going to use FeO plus C, you will be getting Fe plus carbon monoxide. We are not seeing much in detail about that thing, but just we are saying that in metallurgy process we are using this decomposition reaction under calcination. Calcination means you are going to apply limited supply of air. So the assignment for you is in page number 31, the question number 1 to 13, you have to find out the answers and you have to learn it. So we'll see in the next class about the double decomposition reaction. Thank you, students.